Hey there, you're looking kind of cute. Don't forget to subscribe and check out all my other socials. Enjoy. Thick velvet curtains at Riverside Community Theater blocked the afternoon light. They made dark shadows on the empty stage. A person in old jeans and a gray t-shirt stood in the middle of the stage. They held a script with shaking hands. The audition went better than they thought it would, maybe even too well. Congratulations, Zane! You've got the part? Director Margaret Chen's voice echoed through the empty theater as she emerged from the darkness of the audience seating. Her black blazer caught the stage lights as she climbed the side steps. The lead? Zane's voice cracked slightly. But I auditioned for Marcus. Your reading for Lady Rosalind was extraordinary. Raw, authentic. Marcus is yours if you want it, but I'm offering you something more challenging. Zane's stomach tightened. Playing a woman? The idea seemed impossible, yet Margaret's confidence sparked something unexpected. Curiosity. I've never done anything like that before. That's precisely why it will work. Fresh perspective, no preconceived notions. Margaret crossed to a costume rack at stage left, pulling out an emerald green gown that shimmered under the lights. Victorian era, corset, bustle, the works. Think you can handle it? The fabric looked impossibly delicate, impossibly feminine. Zane reached out, fingers brushing the silk. When do rehearsals start? Monday, 2 months until opening night. Margaret's smile widened. Welcome to the cast. The first fitting session arrived too quickly. Costume designer Robert waited in the dressing room, surrounded by petticoats, corsets, and shoes that looked more like weapons than footwear. Strip down to your underwear. We'll build from the foundation up. The corset came first, ivory satin with steel boning. Robert's experienced hands pulled the laces tight, reshaping Zane's torso into something unrecognizable. Breathe from the top of your lungs, not your stomach. Victorian ladies didn't have the luxury of deep breathing. Next came the chemise, then layers of petticoats. Each addition transformed the reflection in the full-length mirror into someone else entirely. Finally, the emerald gown slipped over everything, buttons running up the back in an endless row. Now for the shoes. The heels weren't particularly high by modern standards, but the narrow toe box and unfamiliar angle threw off Zane's balance immediately. Walk heel to toe, small steps, glide, don't stomp. The first few attempts were disasters. Ankles wobbled, the heavy skirts tangled, but Robert remained patient, demonstrating the movements himself with practiced ease. Again, from the wings to center stage. By the end of the session, a basic walk had emerged, tentative but functional. You'll wear these home, practice every day, stairs, sitting, turning, make it second nature. The wig fitting came next. Hairstylist Patricia had prepared several options, but the moment she placed the blonde waves on Zane's head, everyone in the room stopped talking. That's it. That's her. The transformation was startling. The honey-colored hair fell past the shoulders, framing features that suddenly seemed softer, more delicate. Zane stared at the mirror, unable to reconcile the image with any sense of self. How do you feel? Patricia asked gently. I don't know. Different. Not bad, just different. Rehearsals began in earnest. Every day brought new challenges. Learning to project through the corset's restriction, managing the constant weight of the skirts, navigating stage blocking in heels that still felt precarious. The other actors accepted the casting without question. During breaks, actresses shared tips about posture and movement. The male actors treated Zane as Lady Rosalind even off stage, opening doors and offering hands for stability on the rickety backstage stairs. Week by week, the movements became more natural. The corset felt less like a prison and more like structure. The heels clicked with confidence rather than uncertainty. Even the voice work progressed, finding a higher register that didn't sound forced or comedic. Beautiful work today, Margaret called after a particularly strong run-through. You're finding her truth. The comment lingered long after rehearsal ended. Truth. What did that mean? Zane sat in the empty dressing room, still in full costume, studying the reflection that had become increasingly familiar. The hands that adjusted the gown's neckline moved with practiced grace. The posture held naturally now, shoulders back, chin lifted. Even without conscious thought, the body had adapted to its new presentation. A knock interrupted the contemplation. "Sorry, thought everyone had left." Assistant Director James poked his head in. "Need help with the buttons?" "Please, Robert usually helps, but he left early." James's fingers worked quickly down the row of buttons. "You know, I've been doing theater for 15 years. Never seen someone take to a role like this. It's like you were meant to play her." The words hit harder than expected. Meant to play her, or simply meant to be her? "Thanks for the help and the compliment. Anytime, see you tomorrow." Alone again, Zane stepped out of the gown carefully, hanging it with reverence. The modern clothes waiting, jeans and a t-shirt, suddenly seemed wrong, foreign. The body that had felt so natural moments before now felt constrained by masculine clothing. The feeling persisted through dinner, through the evening's mindless television, through preparations for bed. Something had shifted, subtle but undeniable. Dreams came in emerald green, filled with rustling silk and confident strides. The next morning brought decision. Instead of the usual masculine attire, Zane pulled out items that had been buried in the closet. A pair of women's jeans purchased years ago on inexplicable impulse. A fitted t-shirt that had always felt too feminine to wear in public. They fit differently now. Better. Right. Patricia noticed immediately during that day's wig prep. "Something's changed. You're carrying yourself differently." "Is it that obvious?" "Only to someone who pays attention. You look comfortable. Happy." The word hung in the air. Happy. When had that become such a foreign concept? Rehearsals intensified as opening night approached. 12-hour days became common. The cast practically lived at the theater, running scenes until dialogue became second nature. During one late evening, Zane sat with several cast members in the lobby, still in costume from the day's work. The conversation flowed easily, punctuated by laughter and shared exhaustion. "You know what's funny?" Actor Thomas stretched out on the worn carpet. "I forget you're not actually a woman sometimes, like my brain just accepts it." "Same," actress Maria agreed. "Especially lately. There's something different about how you inhabit the role now." Zane shifted in the emerald gown, aware of how naturally the movement came. Different how? Less like acting, more like being. The observation sparked nods around the circle. Even Margaret, passing through with her ever-present clipboard, paused to agree. "It's true. The early rehearsals had technique. Good technique, but I could see the work. Now I just see Rosalind." After everyone dispersed, Zane remained in the empty lobby. The theater's old mirrors reflected the image that had become so familiar. Blonde hair cascading over green silk, hands folded naturally in a lap full of rustling skirts. The phone appeared almost without conscious thought. The search terms typed themselves. Gender dysphoria, transgender, transition. Hours passed. Articles led to forums, led to personal stories that resonated with uncomfortable accuracy. The symptoms checklist read like a biography. Discomfort with assigned gender, feeling more natural presenting as the opposite sex, the persistent sense that something fundamental was wrong. By dawn, certainty had crystallized. The costume wasn't a costume, it was simply clothes. The character wasn't a character, she was a possibility. The next rehearsal day started like any other. Arrival at the theater, costume prep, wig placement. But when Patricia finished adjusting the blonde waves, different words emerged. "I think I need to talk to someone, a therapist, about this." Patricia's hands stilled on the bobby pins. "About the show? About me, about why this feels more real than my regular life." Understanding dawned in Patricia's eyes. She pulled up a chair, sitting at eye level. "I wondered if this might happen. You wouldn't be the first person to discover something about themselves through theater. It's not just the clothes or the role, it's everything. How people see me, how I see myself. When I go home and change back, it feels like I'm putting on a costume. This," a gesture encompassed the gown, the hair, the complete presentation. "This feels true. Then maybe it is." The simplicity of the statement cut through months of confusion. Patricia pulled out her phone, scrolling through contacts. Dr. Amanda Foster, she specializes in gender identity, helped my cousin through her transition. Want the number? The business card transferred from Patricia's hand to Zane's felt heavier than paper should. It represented a door that, once opened, might never close again. Thank you. Whatever you need, whenever you need it. That's what theater family is for. The appointment was scheduled for the following week. In the meantime, rehearsals continued with new undercurrents. Every moment in costume became research. Every interaction as Lady Rosalind became a glimpse of possibility. Dr. Foster's office occupied the third floor of a medical building downtown. The waiting room held the usual collection of chairs and magazines, but Zane barely noticed them. The forms asked for preferred names and pronouns, questions that suddenly seemed impossibly complex. Zane? I'm Dr. Foster. Please, come in. The session passed in careful exploration. Dr. Foster asked questions without judgment, creating space for thoughts that had never been voiced aloud. Tell me about when you first felt this disconnect. I'm not sure. Maybe always? But I didn't have words for it, or permission to explore it. The show gave me an excuse, a safe way to try being someone else. Except she doesn't feel like someone else anymore. How does she feel? Like me, the real me, the one I'm supposed to be. By session's end, the path forward had begun to clarify. More appointments, blood tests, the possibility of hormone therapy, steps toward alignment between internal truth and external presentation. This is a journey, Dr. Foster explained. Your journey. There's no required destination, no timeline but your own. Some people find peace through social transition alone. Others pursue medical intervention. The choice is always yours. Returning to the theater that afternoon felt different. The emerald gown waited on its hanger like an old friend. Patricia's knowing smile as she placed the blonde wig spoke volumes. How did it go? Good. Scary, but good. I have another appointment next week. Proud of you. Takes courage to face yourself honestly. That evening's rehearsal was the full show, complete run-through. The transformation into Lady Rosalind happened automatically now. Corset, petticoats, gown, shoes, wig. But when the reflection appeared in the mirror, it wasn't Lady Rosalind staring back. It was just her. Herself. The person who'd been waiting inside all along. The performance unfolded with new depth. Lines that had been memorized became lived truth. Movements that had been choreographed became natural expression. Even Margaret noticed, pulling Zane aside during intermission. Something's changed. The character work has reached another level entirely. It's not character work anymore. Margaret studied the face before her, the careful makeup, the genuine emotion barely contained beneath the surface. No, I suppose it's not. Are you okay? Better than okay? For the first time in my life, I know who I am. Understanding softened Margaret's expression. And who is that? The answer came without hesitation. Her name is Kayla. Speaking the name aloud for the first time felt like breaking through the surface after holding breath too long. Margaret reached out, squeezing a silk-gloved hand. It's lovely to meet you, Kayla. Truly meet you. The second act proceeded with tears threatening throughout. Not sadness, joy. Pure, overwhelming joy at being seen and accepted. After final curtain, the cast gathered for notes. Margaret's feedback was thorough but kept returning to the breakthrough performance. Whatever's happening in your process, keep doing it. You're giving us something special. The usual post-rehearsal cleanup felt different. Removing the costume no longer meant returning to reality. It meant temporarily setting aside one truth for another. The masculine clothes were what felt false now. That night, Kayla made a decision. The next morning, she arrived at the theater in a simple sundress purchased during a lunch break shopping trip. Navy blue with small white flowers, nothing fancy, but undeniably feminine. Robert was first to notice, breaking into a wide grin. Now that looks right on you. Spin for me. The skirt flared satisfyingly. Several other early arrivals added their approval, treating the change as natural as breathing. Love the dress, Maria called out. Where did you get it? Normal conversation, normal acceptance, as if Kayla had always existed and was only now stepping into the light. The therapy sessions continued weekly. Dr. Foster proved invaluable in navigating the complex emotions and practical considerations of transition. Have you thought about hormones? Constantly. I want to start as soon as possible. Then let's discuss the process. Effects, timeline, realistic expectations. The information was overwhelming but exciting. Physical changes that would align the body with the internal self. Fat redistribution, skin softening, breast development. Some changes reversible, others permanent. I understand. When can we start? Blood work was ordered, baseline measurements taken. The informed consent paperwork felt like signing a lease on a new life. Meanwhile, rehearsals progressed toward opening night. The show had taken shape beautifully, with Kayla's performance anchoring the emotional core. The blonde wig still crowned each transformation, but increasingly, she wished for her own hair to grow into those honey waves. 2 weeks before opening, the first hormone prescription was filled. The small blue pills and clear patches seemed unremarkable for objects that promised such fundamental change. Patricia was first to hear the news during the daily wig prep that had become a cherished ritual. Started HRT yesterday. Oh, honey, that's wonderful. How do you feel? Terrified, excited, like I'm finally becoming myself instead of just playing her. You've been yourself all along. Now your body gets to catch up. The early hormone effects were subtle, mood shifts, skin sensitivity, the beginning of breast tenderness, but psychologically, the impact was immediate. Knowing that change was beginning, that alignment was in progress, brought a peace Kayla had never experienced. Opening night arrived in a rush of final preparations. The theater buzzed with nervous energy as cast and crew made last-minute adjustments. Kayla sat at the dressing room mirror, Patricia putting finishing touches on the familiar blonde wig. You know what's funny? I've been doing your hair for 2 months, and I've never seen you nervous. Until tonight. Different kind of nerves. Before, I was worried about the performance. Now I'm worried about afterward. What do you mean? When the show ends. When I can't hide behind Rosalind anymore. When I have to be Kayla without a script. Patricia's hands stilled. Through the mirror, their eyes met. Sweetheart, you haven't been hiding behind anything. Rosalind was your doorway, not your mask. And that door's not closing after tonight. It's staying open forever. The house lights dimmed. Places were called. Kayla stood in the wings, emerald gown rustling with each breath, waiting for the cue that would send her into the spotlight. The performance unfolded like a dream. Every line landed, every movement flowed. The audience responded with gasps and laughter and tears in all the right places. During curtain call, the applause for Kayla's bow threatened to shake the old theater's foundations. Backstage, amid the celebration and flowers and congratulations, Margaret pulled Kayla aside. Brilliant work. You've given us something unforgettable. She paused, studying the glowing face before her. What's next for you? I keep going, keep becoming, keep living as myself. I mean theatrically. I'm directing Much Ado About Nothing in the spring. Beatrice is yours if you want her. Another role, another show, but this time no pretense would be required. Kayla would simply play a woman because Kayla was a woman. I'd love that. The closing night party stretched until dawn. Cast and crew celebrated in the lobby, still riding the high of successful run. Kayla had changed out of the show corset into a simple burgundy dress, but kept the blonde wig. Several cast members had brought cameras, documenting the end of their journey together. Hey Kayla, get in here! Thomas waved her over to a group photo, natural as breathing, her name, her place, her truth. As the sun rose over the empty theater, Kayla sat on the stage steps with Patricia and Maria, sharing quiet conversation and leftover champagne. So what happens Monday? Maria asked. Back to regular life? No such thing anymore. Kayla smoothed the burgundy fabric over her knees. I have a therapy appointment, then shopping for work clothes, then figuring out how to tell my employer that Zane won't be coming back to the office. Scary stuff. Less scary than pretending for another day. Patricia raised her glass. To Kayla, may she never have to pretend again. The toast was echoed, glasses clinking in the morning light. Monday arrived with challenges and victories in equal measure. The therapy session focused on practical transition steps, legal name change, updating documents, navigating workplace transition. Have you chosen a middle name? Dr. Foster asked. Rose, after Rosalind. She deserves the credit for starting this journey. The legal paperwork was filed that afternoon. In 6 to 8 weeks, Kayla Rose would exist officially. The thought brought tears, happy ones. Shopping proved easier than expected. The sales associate at the department store was either very perceptive or had experience with transitioning customers. She guided selections with gentle expertise, building a basic professional wardrobe. These pencil skirts are perfect for your frame, and this blouse in cream would be lovely with your coloring. By evening, Kayla's closet had transformed. Dresses hung where jeans once lived. Blouses replaced t-shirts. The masculine clothes were bagged for donation, a past life packaged neatly away. The workplace conversation happened Tuesday. Human Resources handled it with surprising grace, immediately switching to correct pronouns and discussing logistics for announcement and transition. We'll send an all-staff email Friday afternoon. You can start fresh Monday as yourself. Wednesday brought the first noticeable hormone changes. Skin definitely softer, emotions closer to the surface. Kayla cried at a commercial about puppies and laughed at the absurdity of it. Thursday was spent practicing makeup techniques Patricia had taught during the show. The theatrical style was too heavy for daily wear, but the skills translated. Foundation, a touch of mascara, lip gloss. Simple, but effective. Friday afternoon, the email went out. Kayla watched from home as her phone lit up with messages. Overwhelmingly supportive, some confused but willing to learn. Only one negative response, quickly shut down by management. Monday morning arrived with new job nerves despite the familiar building. Kayla chose the navy pencil skirt and cream blouse, adding low heels that clicked confidently on the lobby tile. The security guard did a double take, but said nothing beyond, "Good morning." The workday unfolded with less drama than anticipated. Some stares, some questions, but mostly business as usual, with adjusted pronouns. By lunch, it almost felt normal. "You look happy," her cubicle neighbor observed. "Like, really happy. Good for you." Happy. That word again, no longer foreign, but familiar. Weeks became months. Hormone changes accumulated, softer features, beginning breast development, fat redistribution that made clothes fit differently. Kayla's hair grew steadily, approaching the shoulder-length goal that would retire the beloved blonde wig. Theater remained constant. Much ado about nothing rehearsals began, with Kayla simply another actress in the cast. No special accommodation needed, no explanation required. She was Beatrice, and Beatrice was her. Patricia was hired for hair and makeup again, their reunion joyful. "Look at you, your actual hair is almost wig length now. Still that pretty honey blonde?" "Actually darker than I expected, brown with blonde highlights, but I like it." "Natural suits you. Everything about you seems more natural now." It was true. 6 months into transition, Kayla moved through the world with an ease Zane had never possessed. The body felt right. The clothes felt right. The name, the pronouns, the entire existence aligned. Much Ado opened to excellent reviews. One critic particularly praised Kayla Rose's dynamic Beatrice, bringing fresh energy and authentic emotion to the role. Authentic. The word that had started everything. A year into transition, legal documents all updated, body significantly changed by hormones, Kayla barely remembered the person who'd auditioned for that first show. That frightened figure in gray seemed like someone else's memory. Margaret approached after a board meeting where next season was planned. "I'm directing The Importance of Being Earnest. Gwendolyn?" "Obviously, yes." "Thought so. Also, the board wants to discuss something with you. Community outreach. Teen programs. You've become something of an inspiration. Just by being myself? Sometimes that's the most inspiring thing a person can do." The meeting led to a part-time position with the theater's education department. Teaching workshops, mentoring young actors, showing them that authentic self-expression was possible and valuable. During one workshop, a shy teenager approached after class. "Can I ask you something personal?" "Of course." "Did theater help you figure out who you are?" Kayla considered the question, thinking back to that first audition, that first time wearing the emerald gown, that first glimpse of truth in a dressing room mirror. Theater gave me permission to explore, to try on different versions of myself until I found the one that fit. So yes, it helped. But the truth was always there, waiting. I think I might be waiting too, for my truth. Then keep exploring, keep trying. You'll know when you find it. The student nodded, scurrying away with new thoughts to process. Kayla watched them go, remembering her own journey's beginning. 2 years had passed since that first audition. The emerald gown now hung in Kayla's closet, retired from performance but kept for memory. Sometimes she pulled it out, running fingers over the silk, marveling at how much had changed. The mirror reflected a woman at peace, shoulder-length brown hair with natural blonde highlights, soft features that hormones had refined, a body that felt like home, most importantly, eyes that sparkled with genuine joy. "Getting ready?" Patricia's voice called from the living room. They'd become roommates 6 months ago, friendship deepening into Cho's family. Almost. Just needed a moment. Tonight was Ernest's opening. Another show, another role, another chance to create art. But now Kayla brought her whole self to the work. No hiding, no pretense, no separation between performer and person. The burgundy cocktail dress slipped on easily. Simple jewelry, comfortable heels, light makeup. Everything chosen for herself, by herself, as herself. "You look perfect," Patricia pronounced. "Ready to knock them dead?" "Always." The theater buzzed with opening night energy. Cast and crew prepared with practiced efficiency. Kayla took her place backstage, breathing in the familiar sense of hairspray and sawdust and possibility. Places for Act 1. Places, please. The lights dimmed, the audience quieted. In the wings, Kayla Rose waited for her cue, not playing a woman, simply being one, the truest performance of all. When she stepped into the spotlight, it felt like coming home. The applause washed over her during curtain call, but this time it meant something different. Not validation for successful pretense, but celebration of authentic presence. In the audience, she spotted several young people from the workshops, watching with bright eyes and dawning recognition of their own possibilities. After the show, in the lobby filled with flowers and congratulations, Kayla moved through the crowd with easy grace. Compliments were accepted with genuine smile. Questions about upcoming projects were answered with enthusiasm. "Kayla!" a young voice called out. The shy student from months ago approached, looking transformed. "I wanted to thank you, and to tell you, I found it. My truth. Tell me. My name is Emma. She, her pronouns. I start hormones next month." The hug was immediate and fierce. Another soul finding alignment, another journey beginning. The cycle continued. "I'm so proud of you, Emma. So incredibly proud. You showed me it was possible, that I could be myself and still do what I love." As the evening wound down, Kayla stood outside the theater, looking up at the marquee where her chosen name appeared in lights. Patricia appeared at her elbow, linking arms. "Good show tonight. The best. Not because of the performance, because of everything else, because of who I get to be while performing." "And who's that?" Kayla smiled, thinking of all the roles yet to play, all the stages yet to grace, all the moments yet to live authentically. "Myself, finally, fully, forever myself." They walked together toward the parking lot, heels clicking on pavement, laughter echoing in the night air. Behind them, the theater's lights dimmed one by one, ready to rest before tomorrow's magic. But for Kayla, the magic never stopped. It lived in every breath, every movement, every day of aligned existence. The costume had become life, the role had become reality, the truth had become everything, and it was beautiful. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out my other socials if you want more content. early access, behind the scenes, and more. All links down below.